What's up guys, it's Christine with Irene Iron Fitness, and today I'm going to make an Indian lamb curry, also known as kheema. Keep watching. So this dish that I'm going to make is a curry style dish. It's Indian, also called kheema. What makes it a kheema is that it's going to have some frozen peas tossed in with a minced meat. I'm going to use a combination of ground lamb and ground beef. I love lamb. I'm Greek. I grew up eating lamb all the time, like leg of lamb roasts. They were so good. I'm going to use the lamb, and I like to combine it with some 96% lean ground beef. There's a couple reasons I like to combine them. First is because the lamb is a little bit fattier. It's going to help neutralize the high fat when you add in the lean beef. It just brings the blend to a more desired leanness for the overall dish. Secondly, if you have people in your family that aren't huge lamb fans, this is a great way to get them into it, sucker them into the lamb by gatewaying them with the beef. It helps cut down a little bit of the gaminess that the lamb can bring. However, I really like the richness of the lamb and the flavor of the lamb itself. So those are the two reasons why I mix them. So we're gonna be doing a 2-pound batch today. It's gonna yield a little bit more servings than my normal recipes. It just makes sense to use the entire package. Plus, there is a little bit more prep work in this, not a ton, but a little more. So anytime you can cook extra batches, I say do it. Carry it out a little bit further in your week. Aside from those 2 ground meats, I'm going to use white onion, fresh grated ginger, fresh garlic, some tomatoes that I diced, well, they're more of a chop. I used a cherry tomato, grape tomato, because that's what I have on hand from Costco. You could use any type of tomato, or you could even use diced tomatoes in a can. I have some chopped cilantro, apple cider vinegar, my frozen peas. Some versions of this kheema also use potatoes in the recipe, so if you don't have peas or you're not a pea person, you could use potatoes if you wanted a little bit of starch in it. I'm using coconut oil, a touch of coconut milk, the light version, and a lot of spices. My spices are garam masala, coriander, cumin, salt, and pepper. So let's get this skillet hot so we can start our onions. Okay, so I'm using my big, large 12-inch skillet because I'm doing the 2 pounds of meat in it. I want it to be a little bit bigger. It's getting pretty hot, medium-high heat. And I'm putting 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, which I have measured out here. All right, so let's swirl that around the pan. And first things first, we're gonna get our onion in. And we're gonna let the onion do its thing for 5 minutes or so before we add anything else in. So when I talk about the prep in this recipe, it's mostly just the prep of chopping. You're chopping onions, chopping tomatoes, chopping cilantro, you're grating up garlic, you're grating up ginger. It's all very easy things. It just takes a little bit longer than my normal recipes. So I guess I would call this a special recipe, as far as I wouldn't just whip this up on a Monday night or something. I would do it for something special, or if I really wanted something tasty. So we'll stop back when this is further along. The onions have been on for about 5 minutes, and they are soft and translucent and a little bit golden. I'm gonna add in ginger. I have a bunch of fresh grated ginger. And I'm going to add in garlic cloves. This is about 4 garlic cloves, also grated on my microplane. And you can get the exact recipe with all of the measurements and ingredients on my blog, ironefitness.com. So mix these all together, keep it moving. As always, you don't want that garlic to burn. And this is when it starts to smell like a party in here. This is usually when Erin pipes in from one arm's length away and says, "Smells good up there." Now that we have this in, I'm going to throw the meat in. So we have a pound of lamb and 1 pound of 96% ground beef. 96% lean ground beef. So we're just going to work this in. I'm going to stand here, crumble it all down, incorporate it with the onions and the garlic, and just get this browned up. The lamb and the beef is no longer pink, and next I'm going to add in the spice mix, and I'm going to work the spices in, get them a little bit toasty while the meat mixture gets more browned up. It smells so good in here, and the meat is a beautiful orangey reddish color from the garam masala, the paprika, the turmeric, like all the spices that are in here. Smells so good. Now I'm going to add in the tomatoes, and I'm also going to add in some apple cider vinegar. Mix it all really well. I'm also going to add in some light canned coconut milk. This isn't going to be a very saucy curry. If you wanted it to be, you could just add additional coconut milk. And I'm really just using that coconut milk for the essence of the coconut and a little bit of a soft creaminess to it. I did turn the heat down just a little bit. The last thing I'm going to add in is the frozen peas. So I have been keeping those in the freezer to keep them frozen. I'm gonna grab those out now. All right, now we'll add the peas in. I like keeping some frozen vegetables in the fridge or in the freezer for those times where you just don't have anything fresh, and then your freezer saves you. And you can see why I used my large skillet on this one. It's definitely taking up all the space. And the peas, what I like about the frozen peas is, one, they add a really nice color pop, and two, they add a really nice like texture pop when they crunch in your mouth. It's a nice contrast to the ground meat. So you'll let these sit in there for 3 to 5 minutes. You just want those peas to get nice and hot without getting mushy. Also at this point, what you'll want to do is give it a little taste, see if there's enough salt. Because there's a lot of ingredients in this, such as onions, tomatoes, and peas, you might need to add a little bit more salt than you normally do. Also check for spiciness level. If you want it a little bit spicier, put in some extra cayenne pepper. I mean, basically anything that you just feel it's missing. Like if you want it to be a little bit tangier, add in a little bit more of the cider vinegar. Or if you want it to be a little bit saucier, add in a little bit more coconut milk. So I'm gonna let this simmer now, and then I'm going to plate up a bowl for myself, and I'll let you see what it looks like served up. I am gonna top it with a little bit of cilantro. So there you have it, lamb curry, also known as Indian keema, and it was very easy to put together. It smells like a dream in here. I would recommend serving this with either some white rice or some roasted potatoes would be really good with this. I'm gonna dig in. I hope you enjoy. Leave a comment, hit that subscribe and that like button, and meet me next week for a new recipe. Thanks so much for watching.